welcome back to my channel. Today, we'll be discussing Master of Master by Shida. Now, before we get started, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled on this manhwa, go ahead and click off now. No worries, I'll catch you next time. Now, for those of you left behind, let's go over some content warnings. There may be references to animal cruelty, BDSM, dubious consent, obsession, child neglect, violence, and sexual assault, as these things do appear in the manhwa. Now, if all that's good with you, let's go ahead and get started. As always, let's start with a quick synopsis. Yunchul has led a lonely life. To stave away the loneliness, he frequently jumps from bedmate to bedmate and from relationship to relationship, hoping to one day feel the unconditional love he so desperately craves. Then, after a particularly messy breakup, his friends suggest he tries getting a dog instead. He doesn't feel all that confident in the prospect of that, but he goes on to a shelter all the same, where he meets Junggu, a nervous mutt in need of all the care and support Yunchul has to offer. This starts a beautiful companionship between Yunchul and his dog Junggu. Yunchul is still looking for his ideal human partner, but at least now he has Junggu to help comfort and keep him company. On the other hand, Junggu desperately longs to be everything to Yunchul. He hates watching his beloved master suffer at the hands of his shitty lovers when he knows he could be everything to Yunchul. Everything comes to a head when, after a night of breaking up with his boyfriend, who hurt Junggu, Yunchul wakes up to find a naked man in his bed, and Junggu is nowhere to be found. As the nude stranger in his bed explains, he is Junggu, and because of his wish to be with Yunchul, the god of dogs granted him the opportunity to become human so that he can live with his human for longer. Junggu still has a chance to return to being a dog, but he doesn't want to. He aims to win Yunchul's heart, so he never has to be in pain again. Unfortunately, a coworker is on the prowl for the newly single Yunchul. Can Junggu win his master's heart, or will he lose him forever? So let's start out strong. The art is great, and it's super consistent. It reminds me a lot of Angry Monsters work, such as Oh My Assistant and Love Tractor, but it's more on the realistic side. It feels very down to earth, and I especially love the style of censoring, which I know is an odd point to make, but as a self-professed degenerate, I think it's important that I let you know that the censoring is to my taste. It's mostly just unshaded genitals, but it's different than the standard lightsabers or bars that you're probably used to seeing. It's much nicer to look at, in my opinion. That's also another similarity this has with Oh My Assistant. It has the same style of censoring in that too. My only peeve with the art is the character designs, particularly Junggu and Juseong. Their hairstyles are not my favorite, with Junggu having this random little wisps of hair pointing up that's there, I assume, to mimic his dog ears, and then Juseong's hair is just awkwardly long in the front for most of the series. He thankfully does cut his hair, which makes him look a lot better. Otherwise, though, the art is awesome. Something else that was really pleasing about this was the love triangle members. It's pretty clear that the endgame is Junggu. I don't think there's any question about that. And usually when there's a straightforward endgame, the other person is either not given very much screen time, or they're characterized as a bit of an ass to make a clear pathway for the victor, the endgame. On the contrary, though, Jinseong is actually a pretty good guy for the most part, and he gets a good bit of time with Yunchul. Albeit, it isn't as intimate as it usually is with Junggu. Sometimes I even prefer Junseong to Junggu until Junseong tries to tell Yunchul to forget Junggu because he's just a dog. As a dog parent, that hurt me deeply, but that's just me. Otherwise, he's a pretty good guy, which was nice to have as part of the love triangle, especially since it seemed he actually had a pretty strong chance of winning out in the end. However, after the main story, we get a side story for Juseong. Admittedly, he didn't seem like the best dog owner, as he seemed to just see his dog Polo as something to own and not much more than that. But because of how loyal and loving all dogs typically are, Polo makes a similar wish and becomes human. However, it seems like the entire purpose of the side story is to punish Juseong. Polo forces himself onto Juseong, and then it just ends with that. With the main story having been so well developed and exciting, it was a letdown to end on that note. I wish we could have seen more development between Polo and Juseong beyond the sexual assaults, but we're left with more questions than answers on that front, unfortunately. I also have to note that I think they might have translated Young to bro, which was painfully annoying. Even if they didn't translate it that way and Yunchil really did call Juseong bro, I still found it pretty cringy. I much prefer Hyung, but this is an older manhwa, so it might have been due to the old translation standard. Who knows though. I want to end this review on a good note though, and I have to say I really enjoyed the story's core theme. Jungkook is more human than a dog, while it seems that Yoonchul is more of a dog than a human. When it ends with Yoonchul looking for Jungkook and suffering like a dog looking for his owner, it does a great job flipping the power dynamic between a dog and its owner, and finally solidifies Jungkook's role as something more than a pet. It made my heart so very happy. Now, with all that being said, this isn't revolutionary, and admittedly, I had forgotten I read this until I was digging through my old list of finished manhwa to review and came upon it. Having reread it though, it's actually pretty solid. It's not too long or short, and it's full of BDSM smutty goodness, which is always a good time. So if you have the spare cash, I say go for it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Have you read Master of Master? If so, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you not? Let me know and comment below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Bye!